And, Chisoro's my friend, got the opportunity, so good luck to him.
Do you consider yourself disappointed not to have this fight?
Yeah, I'm happy. My job, I work for Anthony Joshua. He's my boss. So whatever he tells me to do, I do. He told me I want to fight Tyson Fury, so we tried to make that happen. For me, coming off the defeat, I would still like him to work with his new team, get some confidence, get active again. But at the same time, I do want to see him in the biggest fights. And Joshua against Fury, one of the biggest fights in boxing. Don't forget Joshua against Dillian White, big fight. But Joshua against Deontay Wilder may be the biggest fight in boxing. It's one you just watch like that. Because someone is knocking someone out in that fight. And, Joshua will be back very early next year now. And, I want to see him get active.
Those are the words of Eddie Hearn as he admits that Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder is probably the best fight, or the best heavyweight, or the biggest heavyweight fight ever. Because of bombs over Baghdad, left hooks, right uppercuts versus a lethal right hand from Wilder. And that fight will be one of those fights that it won't go 12. If that fight, that would be remarkable. Look, I wouldn't bet. I mean, I'm not a betting guy like that, but Joshua versus Wilder, that won't be that fight. Look, it won't. And it won't go the distance, bro. But us hearing Eddie Hearn talk about, admit, explain how that is the biggest fight to be made, it is. And it just lets you know, like you also heard him say, he works for Anthony Joshua. So if Anthony Joshua wants that fight should happen. And he should make that fight happen. Because thus far, in this last quarter, he's failed Anthony Joshua in the last attempted negotiations because Anthony wants it. He wanted the Tyson Fury fight. And Eddie Hearn couldn't deliver. So how good of a worker are you, or a promoter, in getting the job done? You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, he admits that it's the biggest fight. Shelley Finkel admits that that's the biggest fight, even in the UK. Okay, as we heard Shelley Finkel, reveal that, hey, this is the biggest fight. So we have the promoters that believe that. Wilder wants the Joshua fight. He's been expressing his desire for Joshua, maybe possibly in Africa, So the only thing now at this point of time is, what does Joshua want? Because that's the only person that hasn't said anything about fighting Deontay Wilder right now. So we just have to really wait and see, what he says, what he decides to do. I wish Joshua would be more public on what he wants versus Eddie Hearn and the voice of him and that and the other, because, Anthony can talk for himself when he's a big boy. He can talk for himself when the time is right, when when he feels that he needs to say something, he will. Because you hear him, he has social media. He's not, he does certain things expressing certain events and other people in his crew, but sometimes he does do what he needs to do. Bars. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn admitting that the Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder fight is the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!